Well, hello everyone, and possibly happy Thanksgiving if you're seeing this on Thanksgiving Day. Um, Pardon for the Christmas music, but I was kind of in the mood for in the mood for Christmas music. But well, here we are. We are about to kind of come back a little bit and talk about something that I have been meaning to really kind of make a video on because I have been not gonna lie, kind of not necessarily here and there for this game, but let me actually lower the volume down so it is a little bit louder than expected. But I have essentially been playing this for quite a while now. I think I've actually reached a point where I can actually consider myself a bit of a player in this game. But so Grandsummoners, guys. And so we begin. For starters, I want to kind of introduce everybody that's not familiar that knows my videos. I've done a couple of Grandsummoners series in the past. I wasn't quite happy with how it was playing out, and so I kind of, essentially, I have been like, at this point, been playing it a little bit more time. There is a couple of videos that I may be maybe making soon on other games that I've decided to like try out a little bit more. But in those cases, it's literally just to get a character and kind of to dip out. But in this one, it has actually garnered my attention the most because I do actually think I've figured out a couple of my issues with this game, which was for sure it was the auto system that I had a bit of a annoyance with among things, as well as kind of just farming materials was kind of a pain. It still is, but over time it's gotten easier over time. Um, but yeah, this is a bit of an update as well as kind of like, hey, if you're interested in playing this game, I wouldn't necessarily say to kind of break your bank about it, but if you're interested in trying it out, feel free to try it now. And the reason I'm actually going to stop with the audits. I'm not quite happy with the Christmassy so much as I would like to say. Uh, I'll go to the good old Roasted Garden soundtrack on that. I like this one a little bit calmer. Um, but yeah, no. So, well, among things, we are actually having a crossover, and as you can tell, there's a couple of things you might recognize in here. And so, we have a crossover with, or at least this game is having a crossover with the Eminence and Shadow. So, um, well, actually, let me see if I can actually pull up a better banner on this one. I don't actually have any in-game audio playing, particularly because I'm just kind of like not interested in the audio so much. It's not bad. It's just I'm not quite as interested. Um, as a people play this audio less, so to not kind of buzz everybody out from like the audio, I have messed around playing on the background and just playing some audio from it to increase a little bit for my sanity's sake. But yeah, no. So we have. Let me see if I can actually open it up. Yeah, so we have the crossover event, and I'm not going to be summoning in any of these banners quite yet, so to say. Specifically, because I'm not going to hold you. I don't like beta. Shadow's nice, but from the looks on it, it wasn't quite my the most interesting one. He's not bad per se, but he's just not the most interesting character. No, he's not bad by any means. Dark. Oh, actually, we might be able to check out their characters. So, um, he's actually not a bad character, but how do I put it? Actually, yeah, the fact that he can evade is kind of not bad. I mean, one of the funniest things about ignoring defense, 100% of defense, is that most things already have defense if they have crit rate or crit. That is the whole purpose of having crit, which is kind of, I'm not sure what it does exactly, but it's not necessarily the greatest thing ever. It's not a bad character, per se, but I'm not gonna be summoning on him. Specifically because there's Alpha and there's Delta. Oh, Delta's fire. Okay. I thought she was gonna be blue, to be honest. True Delta's bodysuit. True Alpha sword. No, but yeah, no. So kind of TLDR. Hey, we're having an event. I didn't know Short Section would be read. To be honest with you. I haven't really read too much on some of these events. I kind of know what beta is, but kind of bring up to speed. I have been essentially been farming this because once I heard mention of this event, I was like, you know what? Every other character that I've gotten, which, by the way, I actually did end up getting some collab characters, which I do like among things, especially the way that they're used. And however, I will say this: so far, my biggest achievement and biggest utility has actually just been this man here. I don't particularly like him, like as a character, so much. Nor do I know him enough. But he has been the most useful character in my game so far. So I can't shit on him, nor can I say anything bad about him. He's been useful. And for example, this is one of my teams that I have. This is my I will not die team. I have most of these guys kind of maxed out. I will say this: my experience with this game has been kind of like a mixed bag. I have run into a couple of issues, especially kind of when upgrading characters, that it feels like a Herculean task, to say the least. It is easier now, specifically because of crossover missions right now, where I do think they've actually done a good job at it so far, where they essentially give you the materials to upgrade stuff, but let's actually stop with this line a little bit more. Not for changing my mind so much. Kind of psychs me out of it. But yeah, no, essentially, so the game has been fine. My experience has been better overall, and then it got louder. That's so funny. But my experience has been better so far. I will say this: the issue I've had with like auto battling and like kind of getting to the next one and really having to click on it, it's not so much of an issue as it is something you have to be aware of, which I think it's a little bit annoying. Mostly because when you're playing the game, if you're kind of trying to get through stuff, it's really, really difficult to know what you can and can't do in this game. And realistically, the best option is to try the stages and see what you can do with it. And I know this is like a terrible thing from personal experience because trying to beat some of the quests in the main event is painful. It's actually utterly painful. I was currently actually farming some stuff for kind of like the event that they have currently on, which is kind of like story quest related. I'm not gonna lie to you. Most of the story I have been ignoring outright. I like the gameplay. I'm here for the gameplay. The gameplay's fun. I will probably go back to the story at some point, maybe. I've gotten most of this cleared up, and I'm not gonna lie. If I get some hate on the story, it's not that I dislike the story, because I did see like little bit peaks in like things, but I'm kind of more interested in how to clear the game, because in particular there are 26 or so chapters that I cannot touch. Period. And it has been irking me for so long that I can't even like attempt to clear any of these things. It has been like very like annoying to try some of these things, and even the current event right now, where hold on, there are some stages that I feel are unnecessarily difficult, and I know it's like. And I know it's one of those things that I'm like, well, you're trying to kind of level up a character. It's going to be difficult. Yeah, I know it's going to be difficult, but in order for me to try a character that might be good, I'm not even saying he will be good, I have to basically make myself either unkillable or, in a way, more along the lines of, hey, you have to have a specific character with the right typing that doesn't get absolutely shattered by this other typing, and then not only should it have to have that, but it also has to have specifically, you have to have the max upgraded to be able to even attempt this thing. But if you try to go to the lobbies where everybody's trying out, you're not even going to get accepted in if you don't have uh, a luck stat. Which, by the way, the luck stat I think is super obnoxious to level up because it is one of those things that is there in the game, but I find to be completely uh, very situational in some cases. But it will save you so much stamina if you use it in the correct way. But essentially, what luck is basically an increased drop rate in like very in the very linear way. I thought it was like, hey, you have a chance of this. No, luck does not mean it's actually luck based. It's more, hey, is the main character that you have above 100 100 luck, which is kind of like the cap on everybody else's teams. And the reason I say 100 is because if you all select a food of this specific type, which, by the way, I've already started getting into like very oddly specific things. And the reason being, by the way, is because it is a very specific thing. And it is tiring, and it's completely tiring. It is oddly tiring to figure out some of the mechanics in this game, because actually I might double check something actually. I think I know the reason why some of the audio is kind of cutting out here and there. Okay, I can't even go in here without. Nope, still main the character. How about inventories? Nope. That's so funny. You're funny. Nope. I'm. Oh, that might actually fix it. Let's go with that one. So the main issue with some of these mechanics, which are essentially optimizing your performance, as all things again, everybody wants to be like the best they can be if you're trying out a game, right? The problem with some of these things is they're outright so randomly specific that I can't use this character in, like, for example. So let me show you my unit list, and I don't think it's like the best one per se, but I have a few characters that I have that are kind of nice. So I've got Ryoko from like Kill la Kill. I got it from Collab, but I actually did manage to get him to Collab because apparently we're giving them out for free, which I think is quite nice. Um, um, but yeah, no. So they essentially kind of released this character, and she was doing, and she has been doing good. She was doing good for me. But the biggest thing with her specifically was the fact that she so she needed a. God, it's so like odd to put it like this. But the main issue is that she is low ranking in the list. She is basically a non-usable character in every other event other than like a specific one. And so what I've had to kind of rely on, which is not the original plan, but Satsuki has kind of come in clutch, to be honest. Because I like Ryoko, and I got greedy, and I got Satsuki twice from my band. And I ended up having to go all the way on one, so it was whatever. I got her. But here's the issue. I can't use these characters in a specific stage without actually getting shredded. And I know I don't have to worry about luck realistically, but the question kind of comes along is, would you rather get an extra 3 items to drop or not? So now I saw the issue of the sound. I'm actually gonna ignore this sound. So sorry, I'm like kind of stopping in the audio. I'm kind of like out of it audio wise. That sounds alright. But yeah, no. So I'm attempting to play this game, but I have to worry about getting the correct level of luck and I need to lower this sound. I need like the right audio, but I'm so out of it. I might be a little bit tired. It's already like 10 past 10. So I'm gonna be a little bit out of it, but essentially my issue comes from having to think of so many things that the game stops becoming enjoyable. I like just leaving it to auto, and that's kind of where I've left it, and trying to upgrade the characters. That is as much as I can do without losing my mind. That is the most I can do. And over time, some stuff slowly becomes easier. For example, let me actually show you what I'm talking about specifically. So right now there is an event, and I'm actually going to kind of showcase to you what I mean specifically. So there is this giant boss right here. I'm trying Eternal Glint's Summit, and essentially, you can actually practice with this one. So we're going to actually practice with this one specifically. But in the case for this specific boss, there has only been a couple of instances where I've been actually able to clear it without my team dying. This is actually my first team that actually was able to clear it without dying. But my issue with this one is that it is so long, and I actually have to like really think about some of these ones. And while I don't have to do it, I don't actually have to not necessarily not think about it, but I don't necessarily do it that often. We're talking about 15 minutes right here, gone. 15 minutes on just this, which, mind you, I like games, but some games, specifically this one, end up randomly taking so much time out of the day that I don't want to play them. And then there's some games where I'm like, I want to make more stuff on like Wuthering Waves at the moment, for example, but I have been blocked by every other game that's just made my life painful that I don't want to touch anything else. And it's such a weird nuance where I'm like, well, the good game, I just don't want to consume it all because I know it's going to be good. And like Massive Garden is one of those games where even that one specifically, where it's been balanced like really, really weirdly. But let me actually just kind of put aside like everything else because I've been like kind of like roasting this game a little bit. So let's actually talk a bit about the niceties. The game is not bad. I will say this: the pity system, it definitely feels disgustingly high. And it's one of those things where it's been 90 days, give or take, and I still have not been able to get enough pulls for guaranteed. Mind you, that's without just me passively getting the mats and like actually doing the events as well. I've done every single event so far, pretty much, and while the rates are technically good, there is a lot of discussion and talks, even in the because I've been like just watching the Grandsummoners subreddit, the Reddit a bunch. Particularly because there's like a lot of people just kind of discussing stuff, kind of like seeing what the competition is. I'm kind of updating myself with a bit of the community. I don't necessarily engage too much with it. Particularly because I'm just kind of like, hey, I've got all these games to play. I've got other stuff to do. I don't want to necessarily like touch something I'm not ready to really talk about. quite yet, and I still don't necessarily feel quite as ready to talk about it. But this is kind of showcasing for those that are interested or have want to give us a try. I think right now, especially for those of you that like the Imminence and Shadow, like myself, can give this can give this game a try if you'd like to. I will say this game has been kind of a little bit brutal. And my recommendations, if there's one thing I can recommend you, is really kind of avoid equipment summons until I get the character. Because the pity on this game is high as hell. At least the way it's feeling. Particularly because at least in other games like arenas and stuff, and even kind of like dailies, there's dailies and stuff, which I'm not gonna lie, they're a little bit they're one of those things that are just kind of tedious. And they're not bad dailies because there's like one daily you get one stuff. You can get like dupes essentially every week. They're not good. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Some of the getting like one singular diamond a day is pretty asinine. Especially since one singular of the in-game currency, which is the diamond, right, is not even a good percentage of a pull. 5 diamonds is about a singular pull. 3 is enough for an equipment pull, but for the things you care about, which are the character pulls, you need 5. Which, mind you, I think that I don't know if there's like a discount on it, but there is like I don't know if there's like a bonus actually. I do believe there's a bonus if you summon an extra time, right? If you summon the 11 evolved summons, or the 11 versus 5 versus 50, there's there's always the extra when they give you away. So rather than paying 55, you pay 50. So there's like a $5 or a 5 crystal discount or whatever, which basically forces you to kind of duke out the 50 crystals, which, monetization aside, the rates on this game are kind of terrible, to be completely honest with you. If we actually look at the details, and I have said this from like day one when I started playing this, the chances of you getting the character is 0.2%. I actually haven't seen this race quite yet, but it's pretty dog shit actually. And this is with rate up, by the way, mind you, which is technically double everybody else's, but when we're talking about 7% chances, or 7% rate, that means that there's a 6.8% chance, or a basically closer to. Let's actually put it additively, right? So there's a 0.8% chance, 0.2, at the guaranteed. You're guaranteed. There's an 8% chance that you're going to get the character that you want once, which realistically you're only going to need 2 of. But then comes the issue. The pity system is at 30. 30 is about 1,500 crystals. Mathematically, this hurts my brain because it's so simple and so annoying that all the events are really mildly rewarding for the difficulty on this. And it's kind of like it's so complicated to kind of just put it all in the package. It's like the rewards from the event are not bad. They give you up to 100 summons, and it's not bad, like summons wise. But the summons they don't actually tell you the rates, so you could be getting worse rates without you knowing it. And here's the thing, right? All of this, even if it's at the correct rate, feels like shit. And I want to ask other people, like, what are your thoughts on this? Because I have had this kind of like bad experience. I've summoned, I do an Alch summon every single time, like one of the characters comes out that I like. Because I definitely feel like I get more of that stuff. than anything else. I did one with this one, I believe. I did a Evolve Summon from this one. I'm at 16,000. I've been like saving these up for maybe trying this out, because I think these ones are the ones that are worth the most, because it's a 1 in 15, which I consider much better than a 1 in and like 1 in 100 basically is what I would say. Like I said, we actually go where they're actually talking about. It's Crossover Limited, 5 stars guaranteed, guaranteed with a 5,000 Ox Summons. So this is not even necessarily quite as good as it could be, because I think they just throw it into the pile of trash, as I would describe it. Yeah, 500 Ox Summons. Yeah, this is terrible to use. This one, I tried that one once, and I tried 10 of them, didn't get anything worth anything. That's just my cup of tea on that one. But let's actually talk about like the rates specifically. So, as I mentioned before, they give you like 50. Like right now, what they did is they give essentially 50 summons from the events. I actually managed to claim them all, because I did an intelligent thing and actually read what it says and got 50 summons. I tried it. The problem is I don't know the rates. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know the rates. I got a couple of characters which were kind of okay, but the problem ends up being is, yes, I got a couple of characters that are fine, but what ends up happening is, since I don't know the rates, I don't know if they're basically selling us a lie on how good the tickets are, because I don't know what it is with games doing this like scummy thing, and it's such a simplistic thing to do, where you add rates, the rates on the free banner, because that way you at least know what you're getting into, so you don't actually put all your hopes in this. Because what ends up happening is, if you put all your hopes in this, you're putting your eggs all in one basket, and you're like, well, if they're giving out 50 tickets, surely I'll get it on this banner. At least I'll get maybe one character. I'll just summon on the equipment banner, and then you end up making a big mistake. The mistake being, you just invested all your diamonds into the weapon banner because you believed you were gonna get the character from the free summons, from the free tickets, which is something that can happen. I almost felt like it could happen to me, so I kind of avoided it like the plague. I have gotten a couple of equipment from this banners from the event stuff, but it hasn't really been quite up to my standards, the equipment hasn't really been quite as nice nor good, really. Especially if we're talking specifics, all the gear that you get is probably shittier than the one you already have. In what case scenario did this happen to me? Well, I actually got an equipment for all of these guys. I got the equipment gear for this guy, and it was worse. Crit damage up by 75% or up to, I think it's like 75%. It's 30% more if it's a water unit, which is not necessarily the worst thing damage-wise. However, what ends up happening is the cooldown is pretty high, and then you don't really get the crit damage benefit, because if you're autoing it, this is kind of bad. And even assuming you can actually get the dupes for this, which you can technically, it ends up being a bit of a waste of time, because there are other gears that are mildly better in faster ways. For example, I have this gear that increases my increases my Alex attack by 21% and increases all ace break power by 21%. This is nice. This is really quick, especially the cooldown on this is not bad. I don't have anything to boost my attacks, so overall it's an attack boost of 40, actually closer to 84%, technically speaking, because everybody gets the buff, I believe. And this is one you can obtain for free. Now the problem with the other one is that, yes, I get 100 75% crit damage and another bonus 30 if you're like critting or whatever. But the cooldown is so high that I don't actually get that much benefit out of it. It's kind of diminishing returns because this has pretty much like like uh like higher uptime essentially. Especially since it's how long is this like? Increases all assets attack by 20%. Break mode increases all assets break power by 20%. I don't know if this is like I don't think this is additive, but I don't know how long it lasts. This could also be just kind of like a one-time thing too. But even that type of stuff, right? So there's some stuff that actually doesn't actually tell you how long the cooldown is and how long it's going to last. And this is where everything starts to get so annoying. Where well, you have to get this thing, that thing, and the other thing. And I've been talking about this for about 30 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. Talking all of this starts to make me realize that this game has. I feel like I wouldn't say necessarily indoctrinated me into this kind of game, but it's interesting. It's complex enough, but the rates have to be personally increased. This is definitely an old game, so I would have expected a little bit better rates on it by now. I think I would, honestly, again, doesn't necessarily have to be like the biggest thing, but I have seen people just like upset at certain things. I think, for example, like JP versus like global Grandsummoners. I think people were complaining about special art on one of the characters that kind of recently came out. I believe it's Isolate Human Pinnacle, this guy. People have been complaining about his special art they released that is pretty expensive for not enough rewards. Because I think it's like, I can't remember, it's like $10 or $20 or whatever, but it's not the same as in JP. But even setting this aside, I guess the kind of question kind of comes down to, would I recommend this? I guess if you would like to just kind of take a kind of like a step back on a game, this is definitely one of those games that you can actually take a step back and just kind of put in the background. It's nothing you should really lose your brain over too much. I think for me, I've been ignoring like the giant boss, which is essentially like the every like is like a 2-day boss that they have essentially. And this kind of thing, I only do it when I needed the mats when it's available. The reason I do this is specifically because I don't want to be driven insane. And it's such a like weird thing to say like outright like that, but why are some of these bosses so hard? That's kind of where it comes down to. Like I've been trying to beat this like I should bring it up right now. I really tried to beat Dungeon Trials floor 21. Why can't I beat this stage? And it's mostly because it's like the immunities and stuff. And I wanted to kind of swap out a couple of things to kind of try like a more literal one that actually has like magic damage. And I was going to try something like this, or like rather than this, I was going to try something like this, but instead of her, I was going to try my magic damage mage or whatever. But you know, we'll try that in a bit. Not in videos. I kind of don't want to drive myself insane. I already did that with the Bleach Race Souls video, which. Sorry, the video's gonna be delayed a little bit until like after Thanksgiving because I spending time with family and just I got a little bit traumatized since that's on me, so I needed I think at least another day for to take that in. Oh, that and I'm also farming event. Actually, right now, actually should do that right now. But yeah, I guess let me know your thoughts about it. Again. As I said, if you'd like to try this game, we have the Eminence of Shadow crossover, so Delta and Alpha are coming. I'm not sure if there's anybody else that's releasing. That's one of my small complaints that I was gonna have, but it's nothing I think major. Thankfully, they did actually have Alpha in whatchamacallit. So I believe if I actually checked the page that they have. Hold on a second. Yeah, so here's my complaint, man. So they actually have a special art for Shadow, and every single one of the 7 shadows is here, and so that's nice. That's cool and all. Well, I know I don't think we're actually gonna release some new characters, but man, I'm so glad Delta and Alpha pulled through. I would have liked Epsilon and Zeta as well, and maybe Gamma. Again, most of the years I like, but man, oh man, so I was like, man, I wonder which units are gonna be here. I don't think every single one of them was gonna be here, but I'm not gonna lie, man. Beta, I told those beta lovers, I think I would have rather taken. Well, I guess which one are the first 3? Alpha, beta. Ah, that's correct. Crap, that makes sense. Alpha, beta, delta. I guess canonically speaking, it makes sense because they were the first 3, including shadows. No, man, I think I've taken Epsilon over beta. that's such a. Let's start. We'll start a fight in the comments. We'll see. But yeah, no. Kind of like how the event goes. The event's here. If you'd like to check it out, I'm releasing this video a little bit earlier. I was planning on releasing when I actually get the characters, but if you want enough time to actually get the characters, I think you need the extra time. So here's the extra time. If you haven't checked it out, go sure to check it out. Again, I'm not sponsored for shit. I just thought it'd be nice to play the game if you like Eminence Shadow. They have a little bit of story. I didn't check it. I never do because I like Shadow. I like Shed. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't like audio-less dialogue. That is one thing I would just not necessarily like. It's not bad. I would like dialogue on them. Anyway, that's been it for that. Hopefully you guys found it entertaining. I'm still playing this game. Who would have thought? I was upset at it. Hopefully your Grandsummoners peeps are kind of interested in more content, or like, hey, he actually played the game. I totally knew him. He wasn't playing the game correctly. Well, now I am, and now I'm getting complaints, basically. Why is the banner shit? Why are some of the bosses so hard? That's about it. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day, and stay solid. Oh, yeah, and like, I will be making a couple more videos, but this is the one I want to kind of release. This is gonna be released on Thanksgiving Day, so if you're seeing this a little bit on Thanksgiving Day, happy Thanksgiving, and hopefully y'all have a wonderful day, and stay solid. Bye-bye.